he plans to push through with his earlier suggestion to abolish PhilHealth. He noted, however, that he prefers the replacement of PhilHealth with a new agency, but privatizing it would not be possible due to insufficient government funds.
I'm going to propose to Congress to abolish the... Kung i-privatize mo naman, sus Maria Josep, walang pera. Sino insurance mo? Kung sabihin ng mga kapitalista sa insurance, kami ang magbayad, pero wala kayong pundo.
But while PhilHealth Workers for Hope, Integrity, Transparency, and Empowerment understands the President's position, the rank-and-file union appeals to be spared from abolition.
Ang hinihiling lang namin, dapat sana patapusin muna yung investigasyon. At yung ilang mga opisyal sa PhilHealth na talagang may kasalanan na maparusahan.
Habay further noted that they cooperated in the investigation and divulged everything they knew about the alleged corruption in the agency. He said the abolition will be unfair for rank-and-file employees and other 7,000 workforce that will be affected.
Okay kami sa reorganization, but the abolition medyo mahabang usapin ho ito.
The corruption allegations stemmed from a whistleblower who revealed that the PhilHealth Executive Committee pocketed some 15 billion funds through several fraudulent schemes. Duterte then approved the filing of graft and malversation charges against resigned PhilHealth President and CEO Ricardo Morales, along with several other officials. In a statement, spokesperson Ray Balenya said PhilHealth respects President Duterte's views on the issue. He added that the state insurer will continue to do its mandate, especially as the country grapples with the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Malacanang spokesperson Harry Roque earlier today said he will be meeting with new PhilHealth Chief Dante Gueran to get updates on the reforms being implemented in the agency. For News 5, Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
The government welcomes the World Health Organization's plan to distribute 120 million affordable antigen test kits to low and middle income countries. The WHO has yet to release the list of beneficiaries. However, National Task Force Against COVID-19 Deputy Chief Implementer Vince Dizon said this would provide a significant boost in testing capacity should the Philippines make the cut. He also clarified that pilot testing for the 15-minute test kits is still ongoing in the country. It is currently being tested in Baguio City, which has been highly praised for its efforts to contain COVID-19. Meanwhile, the health department logged over 2,000 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. This brings the total caseload to 309,000. Of the number, nearly 51,000 are active. 68 more deaths were recorded today, pushing the death toll to more than 5,400. 290 people recovered from the disease. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries to nearly 253,000. Senators lament the reduced budget of the DOST, especially for its research and development programs. They say higher funding is needed for vital projects such as the upcoming clinical trials for COVID-19 vaccines. Mayan Los Baños has the details.
PHIVOLCS has listed down 4 volcanoes that have been showing abnormal activities. These are the Taal Volcano, Mayon, Bulusan in Sorsogon, and Canlaon in Negros. PHIVOLCS said that although Taal's activities have declined in the past months, they saw some slight changes in its trend recently.
Paghupa po ng pamamaga because of pressure, and nakita na namin na namamaga ulit. So we have to continuously monitor it. The Mayon volcano also is slightly, again, inflating from its base. So we have to watch out these 2 volcanoes.
Senator Joel Villanueva expressed worry that the monitoring of active volcanoes may be affected after the PHIVOLCS requested budget was slashed by 133 million pesos. Solidum said the monitoring will proceed, but their information technology system and modernization of stations will be affected.
As you know, many of the monitoring systems now are directly supported by IT. So even if you have sensors, this will be operated, maintained, and evaluated using IT equipment.
The Budget Department has previously allocated 23.89 billion pesos for the DOST. But even senators said the funds for the research and development is not enough, especially because it was also cut by 76 million pesos. They commit to increase the budget to maintain the projects and provide continuous support for homegrown scholars and scientists. With this, the Senate asked the DOST to provide them with a list of priority R&D programs so they can amend its budget allocation.
Ang laki din ho ng binawas pa din dun sa R&D nyo. Na parang ang dating nga hindi na-appreciate ata ng DBM ang research and development.
For Senator Panfilo Lacson, the DOST should also have an influence in deciding which research programs across the government should be prioritized. DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña agreed, provided that the budget for research will not be lumped into the agency, but will also be distributed to different departments. Senators also asked the agency to prioritize the clinical trials of possible vaccines and make sure they're all proven safe prior to the distribution. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, We Are One News.
More stories after this short break. Stay with us here on One News. President Duterte lashes out at Facebook for removing pages linked to the police and military. Despite the threat, Malacanang clarifies that the social media giant is here to stay. Maricel Halili with the story.
President Duterte did not mince words against social media giant Facebook during his televised speech Monday evening. This was a week after Facebook took down over 100 accounts linked to the police and military, citing coordinated inauthentic behavior. But Palace spokesman Harry Roque was quick to clarify that the president is not planning to ban Facebook altogether. He said the president simply wants to discuss certain matters with the tech giant. However, Roque said the president has yet to formally ask Facebook for dialogue. He added that he finds it unfair that Facebook's fact-checkers are known critics of the Duterte administration.
Nagrereklamo ang maraming estado, hindi lang po ang Pilipinas, ang mga Europeans, dahil nga po din sa mga fact-checkers na pilim-pili lamang at laban sa mga gobyernong pinipili nila. No?
Roque also questioned why majority of the pages that were taken down were those supportive of the administration.
Matagal na pong nananindigan ng ating Pangulo para sa malayang pananalita. Bakit naman dito sa physical personification, yung physical personification ng free marketplace of idea, sinesensor kapag kampi po sa gobyerno ang mga postings.
During his speech, Duterte alluded that Facebook could be influenced by leftist groups. He insisted that the government is not advocating mass destruction or mass massacre. However, based on the recent developments, the president expressed doubts if the government could use the platform to promote its advocacy programs.
Government cannot use it for the good of the people, then we have to talk. We have to talk sense. You cannot lay down a policy for my government. I allow you to operate here. You cannot bar or prevent me from espousing the objectives of government.
Meanwhile, during his speech, the president disclosed that he had offered to resign out of frustration. He said this stemmed from corruption issues that have haunted several government agencies under his watch. The president also announced new quarantine classifications. Metro Manila will keep its GCQ status until October 31, along with Batangas, Tacloban City, Bacolod City, Iligan City, and Iloilo City. Lanao del Sur, including Marawi City, will be placed under MECQ. The rest of the country will be placed under MGCQ. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
The Tourism Department issues guidelines for safe staycation in areas under GCQ. Short leisurely vacations in hotels will be allowed beginning October 1 for persons of all ages except those with underlying medical conditions. But all guests need to present a negative COVID-19 rapid test result conducted on the same day of check-in. Hotels must also strictly follow guidelines on guest handling, as well as safety standards for ancillary establishments such as gyms. Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat said allowing staycations in GCQ areas will jumpstart the industry and help the economy recover. The Agriculture Department reiterates its call on local governments and big cooperatives to actively buy palay from local farmers. Agriculture Secretary William Dar said the National Food Authority, or NFA, has started buying local palay for 19 pesos per kilo. However, he said the NFA can only purchase 5% of the total production. Senate President pro tempore earlier called on the DA to look into the matter. Farmers took to social media to express their dismay over the drop in palay prices to as low as 12 pesos per kilo. Water allocation from Angat Dam for domestic and irrigation uses will be reduced. Still, concessionaires are assuring their customers of enough water supply until the end of the year. Shaila Francisco has the details.
The water level in Angat Dam is still below its minimum operating level of 180 meters. It is currently at 177.94 meters. The National Water Resources Board, or NWRB, further reduced the water allocation for Metro Manila as well as for irrigation to ensure enough supply until the end of the year. Irrigation allocation for October will be cut by 5 cubic meters per second, while allocation for Maynilad and Manila Water will be down by 2 cubic meters per second in the same month. The water concessionaires are assuring their customers that this will not have any impact on supply. They said water interruption in some areas were only caused by maintenance activities. The concessionaires added that there are still alternative sources of water as of now.
Naka-standby yung ating mga deep well facilities, no? So currently almost 70 million liters per day ang deep wells natin, na by the end of the year hopefully around 90 to 95 million liters per day ito. Meron din tayong Cardona Water Treatment Plant na we plan to maximize hanggang 100 million liters per day. This is actually in preparation also for summer and in preparation also just in case na there will be further reduction.
Meanwhile, disconnection policy of the Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System, or MWSS, ends tomorrow. With this, the regulator is advising customers who have not settled their ECQ bills to submit promissory notes to their concessionaires. This will extend their payment deadlines to up to 6 months. MWS's Chief Regulator Patrick T says they are studying if they could provide another grace period.
The MWSS RO has already transmitted a letter to the two concessionaires to comment or to submit to the regulatory office what are their plans to comply with the terms and conditions of the Bayanihan Law or the Bayanihan 2. They have submitted their response last night, so we are still studying it. We will still review the submissions of the two concessionaires, and we will determine probably by tomorrow.
He added that both Maynilad and Manila Water have committed not to immediately cut connection lines and give at least 15 days of extension to customers. Despite the consideration, the concessionaire said they are hoping that some customers would still adhere to the deadline.
Sana makapagtulungan ng customers at ang Maynilad para po masiguro pa rin yung kakayahan namin na ipagpatuloy yung operation. Challenging para sa amin na lumawig pa o humaba pa yung grace period dahil alam mo, kailangan din natin ng pondo para patakbuhin yung planta natin ngayon, bumili ng mga treatment chemicals.
Shaila Francisco, VR One News.
For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Chicky Verhel. We are One News.